Everybody, welcome to Stumptcast. I'm Rick, joined as always by Ash, Jazz, and Price. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, buddy.
Hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode. We've got some exciting stuff in store for you guys today. We've got some Star Wars news because Star Wars is right around the corner. So soon. The bar's set awfully high, and we're all super excited about that, so we'll nerd out about that in just a minute. We've got Batman news, apparently. Some news dropped today, some Batman stuff.
I love it when that happens, right before a podcast and like a tweet goes out and it's like, oh my God,
gotta love the Twitter. And we've got some Kickstarter news that we've been talking about today too. But before we get into that stuff, let's talk about how was your week. And Ash, why don't you tell us, how's your week been, buddy?
My week's been sick. I've been sick for the last...
Sick week, bro.
A sick week, man. No, more than a week. I've been sick for like the last 9 days straight, which all of us really have, except for Jazz.
That smile.
She's got the immune system of a
It's
Russian
because I got my
cosmonaut.
flu shot and I had a cold about a month earlier than you guys did.
Yeah,
I don't believe in
you got
vaccines.
over it earlier.
Vaccines,
you got it out of the way.
They make it crazy. I just don't.
Don't even joke about that. All right.
Just kidding. Get your vaccines, kids. Get your vaccines.
Get a flu shot. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But exciting stuff. It was Thanksgiving break, so I had a 5-day weekend, and I saw Spectre. Spectre was pretty awesome. I still think I like Skyfall more, but it was pretty good. I went to Five Guys for the first time, and it was amazing. It was like
Was it amazing?
Yeah.
Did the fry bite back?
We had so many freaking fries.
We'll talk. The fries were insane. Like, we won't talk about it later, so I'll talk about it now. The fries, we just ordered a regular fry, which is supposed to be a cup this big worth of fries, and a small fry, because it was me, Jazz, and my aunt. So the small fry was supposed to be a cup that big. It's like they took 3 amazingly large cups and they just dumped it in the bag. Like, they didn't even care to get it in the cup. It's just like our bag was like this full of fry at the bottom.
That's the best kind of burger joint to go to, where the people, they're just like, just take it. Just have it.
You also get free peanuts before you start eating. So
Right.
Not like
it's just
Subway
so
that
much
rations
food.
you. Subway rations their napkins like they're gonna put them out of business. They're like, you ordered a footlong sandwich, you get a napkin.
I didn't
Good
realize this
luck.
either, because I'd never been to Five Guys, but their regular burgers are all double burgers.
Ooh.
They're double patties.
They're double patties, and they don't advertise that anywhere in the menu. Like, I had to look did I accidentally order a double burger? No. So, big burger.
That's a normal burger, dude.
Just gotta know,
come on.
man.
It's American size, yes.
Anyway.
we ordered it. We didn't finish it. It was delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I've never been, so I need to. I need to.
I have
get
to
Well,
to
we'll
either.
have to take you out to Camas or freaking Clackamas because that's where they are.
Yeah, there's none
outside of Portland.
anywhere convenient.
There's
Beyond that,
there's no more wretched hive of scum and villainy than those places.
Camas, Washington.
beyond that, we were
Sorry
we were
to
lucky
everybody
enough,
who lives in Camas.
Sorry, guys.
I'm not sorry.
I
am
love
sorry.
you.
I didn't mean it. It was all jokes.
Just Cause 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Just Cause 3. I was lucky
Dude.
enough to play it like a week early, which was beyond the game just being amazing, which it is. Everyone go play it because it's like the most fun I've had in a really long time. It was super awesome to be able to play it a week early because literally everyone else on the leaderboards was just YouTubers. So like me getting to crush Quill 18 scores over and over was awesome.
Quill, you've been called out.
I bet he's like, who the fuck is this guy? Ashes to ashes. Who is this Joker?
Who's this Stumpy? What does this Stump guy have to do with flying across the gosh darn island?
And now
man.
that the game's out, the game more prioritizes your friends' score. So all of my friends now that have actually gotten it, they've been telling me, dude, how the fuck are you so good on launch day? What the hell?
Pro skills.
Anyway, that's been my
man.
win.
Very cool. And in addition to what you just said about Just Cause 3, if you guys haven't on Stump Branch checked out the video that Ash made, Rico Rodriguez, Traffic Cop, go check that out. It's one of my favorite videos that we have produced in a long time. Like that, Ash, well done, sir. Well done. I love that video.
I'll admit I wasn't really feeling that video. I was pretty sick when I made that video.
Dude,
so
I was laughing so hard.
Ash, you need to make more solo videos.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the Goat Simulator, I lost my shit when you did that Goat Simulator video. And you said the same thing. You're like, I didn't know. I thought it was bad, and it was just had a bunch of cuts, but it was
This guy,
freaking funny.
Perfectionist here.
Yeah.
Stuff's good.
It wasn't that
Stuff's good. Go check it out. Rick's going to link it on the side, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Go check it out.
Jazz.
Jazz.
What up?
I've been busy working, just a lot. I really want to get the banner together, but I'm not feeling it this week.
Yeah.
It's just really hard. And I started Undertale, which is really fun, and I love that game so much. I played like the first hour. I have no idea.
And you've played that one before this playthrough, right?
Yeah, and I was really surprised that the game remembers what you do. So even if you do resave over a previous save, the game still remembers that you did that. So it remembered that, I didn't understand how to spare Toriel, so I killed her. And then they're like, you fucking murder her. And I'm like, I'm sorry, game.
Because you're doing a pacifist run now.
I'm doing a pacifist run. And I didn't
There's apparently
there's
a ton of Easter eggs in that game.
There's a lot of stuff in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm really surprised. I'm having a good time with it. I need to record more of it, actually, because I recorded enough just for this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm kind of running out of time because...
Yeah.
That's another series that's on our Stumpt Branch channel.
Yeah, I'm running out of time because it's already... Today's Thursday. We're recording this on Thursday. I have edited 3 series this week. We're going to be recording more on Saturday. And then I have dim sum Sunday. So.
Oh, you're complaining that you have dim sum, huh? Oh,
she's just got.
Oh, I gotta go eat that dim
man.
sum.
Oh no!
I gotta let people celebrate my birthday for December. Oh, this is my life. Oh,
I know, but it's just I'm running out of time because then we also have Saturday after we record.
Yeah, Saturday's our big one.
Yeah, it's how it goes.
At least I'm going to watch.
Saturday we've got
we're there.
Bad
Snow
Christmas
Dad.
movie night. That's
yeah.
right.
Snow Dad.
So Jingle of the Day and Snow Dad.
No, yeah, we're gonna do
watch that.
Bad Christmas movie night after our Saturday record with.
I just want to clarify something. All right, Jingle All the Way is not a bad movie.
You are wrong.
Okay,
sir.
it is not a bad movie.
We will explain how wrong you are on Saturday.
Yeah, you will see. You are wearing rose-colored glasses, and you need to get your eyes checked.
Can I tell you guys something really quickly?
My friends. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't want to. I could save this for Saturday, but I want the world to know this. I saw Jingle All the Way in theaters, or at least we were going to. I went with my dad and my brothers, and we went to see the movie. And it starts out, the first couple of minutes of it are almost like you're watching a different movie. Mm-hmm. It's like the Turbo Man character and all this kind of stuff. As we're watching it, the film reel burned. Okay? Nice. So it's one of those ones where it's like we go into the theater, we're watching this, and the first 2 minutes of the movie are all we see. And all it is this like fake kids Power Rangers style TV show. And then the film reel burns. And I left going, what was that movie that we were apparently going to watch?
Let me ask you this. Is your entire opinion of the movie just on what you've seen in the first 2 minutes?
No, I've seen it after that. I saw it after that. But just that alone has colored
so that
my
warning
view.
Wasn't enough for you to turn you off of watching it.
It wasn't enough. I still jumped back in.
Universe way of saying, we're going to save you the trouble right now.
Skip it.
If there is any kind of ethereal force out there, it was trying to tell me, dude, just don't waste the time. And I couldn't help it. I had to see Arnold go, Tattleman. I got to go Tattleman doll.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to explain this movie to people at my work who are all over 30. They've never really heard of this movie before. And I'm like, okay, it's Jingle All the Way. What is that? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad fight over a toy, and Phil Hartman constantly hits on his wife.
Spoilers! I haven't seen it yet.
That's essentially the trailer. It's also essentially every scene of the movie.
Oh my god! Okay, speaking of trailers, remind me about trailers before we get into.
Do you want to talk about
potatoes.
Batman versus Superman? Because
no. We've only done 50% of the How Was Your Week so far.
Yes, I want to let Jazz wrap up and then Price, but then I want to talk about that trailer talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also, me and Ash wrestled a tree. That was fun yesterday.
Oh, Jazz.
Who won?
I did. I was like,
won.
Ash, go and get the hand clipper so that we can clip the branches from the bottom part of the tree. He comes back with the gigantic shears, and so I'm trying to wrestle this tree with these gigantic shears that are not meant to clip little branches.
In reality, we needed the giant shears because some of the branches were huge. But no, the sap won, if we're going to be real about it.
The sap. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
But no, Jazz,
you people in your real
immediately,
trees.
as soon as December 1st happens, tree.
I'm still going to go get mine.
You know what? No one can beat my mom. Freaking Thanksgiving evening. They left, my aunt and uncle's place at 3:30. My mom by 4 was putting the tree up. All right.
I was about to say that your mom was over at Black Friday getting in line.
No.
Because that's even worse.
But no, it's bad because the tree's going to be dead by Christmas. It's going to be dead by Christmas, Jasmine.
It's dead already.
Get a fake tree. Get a fake tree.
I had a fake tree, and he didn't like it. He gave me shit for having a fake tree.
I do like having the real trees.
People who put up trees early, I'm willing to give some leeway there. It's people who don't take them down quick enough that bug me, especially Christmas lights. Ask Melanie; she will tell you that it is my number one pet peeve when we're driving around town and I see somebody whose lights aren't just up but are on, and it's January 28th. Yep. What dream world are you living in? Christmas ended a month ago. Keeping the lights up isn't going to extend the holiday. It's over.
I can get that. Because I my mom, for example, will leave the lights up just because she doesn't want to take that shit down.
Yeah.
But she doesn't turn them on.
Just leave them off.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to know what happens Christmas Day? After we're done in the morning, we get up at 6. In my family, it's you get up at 6, you open presents, you're done by 7, you're eating breakfast, and while we're doing that, my mom is taking the tree down, she's taking the lights off. It's
Christmas
freaking
is over.
She celebrates both Thanksgiving and Christmas with that tree's life and death.
It's all about things must be done on time. So Rick, you would appreciate my mom's approach because as soon as Christmas is over, that shit is down.
You are dead to me.
I don't mind paying a little extra to have a tree a little early during the year. I think I spent $40 on my tree.
It was an expensive tree.
Whatever. Yeah.
It's there for a month.
Sure.
I really like December. Christmas is my month because I was born in December. I was born the day after Christmas.
Yeah, you poor.
So you
know. Sarah gets that with you. Her birthday's the 28th, so you guys share that Christmas is your birthday time.
My mother's is New Year's Eve.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's
every
a big
year
party.
when we celebrate,
that's a fun party every day.
That's Stumptmas, you know?
We're getting into Christmas talk here. Price, how was your week?
Oh, how was my week? Let's see. What did I do this week? Well, by this point, you guys might actually have seen or sometime soon the episodes of multiplayer that I have been on with some of the other people from Polaris.
So do you know who was the first one that you did with?
It was with Calfcast and Joe from Crisscross Media, and who else was on that first episode? I'm blanking on it at the moment, but I've been on with a lot of the same people for all the episodes I've been on. And it's been a ton of fun. So if it's not out yet, then, pay attention to my Twitter or whatever, and you'll find out as soon as those go up. And if they are out, I'll give the link to Rick so he can put it over there.
Why do you explain what multiplayer is?
Yeah, multiplayer. So it's a Polaris-based thing. It's on Sling TV, which is kind of this online alternative to cable. If you don't want to have cable, on your TV, you can get a lot of the big channels through Sling. I was looking into it. I was like, this is actually kind of a cool deal that there are certain networks that you can actually get all their content through this Sling TV instead of through cable. But essentially what it is it's they describe it as a whose line is it anyway for gamers, where it's, you have these different contestants and we're all, Polaris people from different channels. And, they give us these prompts, these questions, and, you just kind of give your response. So I'm trying to think, what was one that we had recently?
Why do you explain the goat one? Because I was really confused when you guys
That might be
chatting.
spoilers. That might be spoilers for one.
That's going to be spoilers because that one's not coming out for another month, probably.
A month.
Well, let's just give an example of a question you had.
But a question could be, a question could be something like, so you're in the Mortal Kombat X Street Fighter tournament, and you're a new character, you're a new challenger. What are you, and what is your power? Okay. Or another one we had that was really cool was what single player game would you add multiplayer to, and why? And so it's as gamers, everybody who's in this stuff, we're all big gamers, so we all have a lot of opinions and ideas about what we think would be good for games. And so it's just kind of a fun, we all sit around and we just chat and goof on one another, and you got this kind of fun time. I have had a blast recording those. I've really enjoyed it. And so hopefully sometime soon we can get the rest of the gang also to join in on that or on some of the other
they record
stuff
at
that we've been doing.
3 p.m. on Thursdays?
No,
like
it's 11. It's like 11 a.m. for us. And so the rest of the gang, they all basically work normal days. I just happen to have Thursdays off this term, so it worked out perfectly for me with the recording schedule. But yeah, hopefully we can get the rest of y'all on there.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Sling TV website, and yeah, it's like you can get ESPN and ESPN
it's kind of cool
on this.
Yeah, I mean, like, so
Disney,
it is,
History Channel, IFC, travel.
It's something I would definitely suggest, check it out. And, once I'm tweeting about the stuff, because I want you to go and see the episodes that I'm on, make sure to go and, try it out, do the free trial or whatever there is. And beyond that, what else have I been doing? Put up a couple of Isaac runs this past week that one of them is possibly my favorite Isaac run ever. Ooh. Just like because of the arc of it. Like I make a goal at the beginning of it, and then for the first third of it, it seems like it's not even going to happen. There's no possible way. And then as we're going through it, it's like I'm fighting for it. I'm making all these decisions. I'm making all these choices. And then by the end of it, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to see the top of the mountain. But it's just it's so exciting. The emotions that I went through for that. The other thing that I've been playing recently, I broke down and I got StarCraft Legacy of the Void.
Did you really?
I did.
Have you been playing with
campaign.
Chad? Who have you been
I played with the whole campaign. Chad is picking it up, I think, tonight while we're recording this. He was like, I'm going to get it sometime soon. And so I'll be playing the co-op stuff with my buddy Chad. But I played through the campaign. Really, really dig it. I could break it down more specifically later if we wanted to. But basically, I played through all of the StarCraft campaign for Legacy of the Void. It's worth it if you're a StarCraft fan. I loved it. And then other than that, I played Titan Souls, which y'all have seen the video of. I actually haven't finished it yet, but that game. If you want an example of when people talk about me being salty, if you want to know where the salt lies, Titan Souls is a perfect encapsulation of my salt. Because here's how it goes. Every time I walk into a boss, it goes like this. It goes like, oh, this guy's interesting. Oh, here's how he works. Oh, fuck that. Oh, that's stupid. This bullshit. Fuck. Oh, come on. And then I'm just getting so salty. And then once I do it, I'm just like, woohoo! All right, that was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Because that it is my understanding in that game, you can beat the boss in one move, right?
Oh, dude, there are a couple of them that I beat within the second try, where it's just I walk in, I do it, I'm like, okay, boom, done, awesome. And then there are other ones where it's it takes me 40 or 50 or 60 tries. I'm like, come on. But they're all, 20 or 30 seconds, minimum. It's just you walk in, you wait for them to show their weakness. They're all one-hit kills, but it's also one-hit kill on you. You only have one arrow. Really great game. And when I picked it up, it was on the Steam sale for $4. Yeah. So I'd say go check out that video, and I'll be having the rest of the series coming out over the next couple of weeks. And if it's the kind of game that looks appealing to you, if it's not on sale right now, wait around for the next Steam sale or whatever. $4. Oh my gosh, absolutely worth it. Everybody should play that game. It's tons of fun.
Yeah. And there is a demo too. I've played the demo.
There's a demo. Yeah, you can play the demo. And it's basically the first. Basically, what I do in the first episode that I recorded and put up on the channel, I believe that's what's the demo. Yeah. So if you want to try it out, go download the demo. And other than that, that's basically been me. That's been my week, my time.
Sweet.
Yeah. Rick, what you up to?
Getting salty, fighting bosses.
Salt!
I went to my friend's wedding in Las Vegas.
Yes.
My buddy Sean got married, and I got to be in the wedding, and that was nice. But it was busy because he figured... most of our friends grew up or still have family that lives in Las Vegas because that's where I grew up. So he's like, okay, I'll plan it around Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to be home that time anyway. So I flew out on Wednesday night, stayed with a friend, had Thanksgiving dinner at my in-laws' house on Thursday night, then had to go to 2 weddings 2 days in a row because Sean's Thai.
Jeez.
So there was a Thai wedding on Friday night, and then the traditional wedding on Saturday night. Woke up Sunday, drove 16 hours back to Portland straight by myself, got home at 5 a.m. on Monday morning, and now here I am. I slept for about 20 hours straight on Monday.
Nice.
And my circadian sleep rhythm was completely bonkers for a few days. I'm finally starting to settle in. My exciting news for me, I don't know how excited anybody else is going to be, but on the drive home, I was like, okay, the Timbers are playing in the semifinals, the last match against Dallas. So I downloaded the Radio 750, the game app, so that I could listen to it in the car. And the Timbers won, which means that the Timbers are going to the MLS Finals on Sunday.
That's really pretty.
And I
that's
couldn't
pretty
be
great.
more happy. I mean, I'm a huge Timbers fan. I'm a huge soccer fan, and our team, 5 years in the league, and they've got their first chance. So I've got my papercraft. Nat Borchers here. He's our center back.
I will say this. I will say, Portland is a very soccer-focused city. I mean, when it comes to sports in this town, no question. The Timbers are the name in the game. We
only have two
a baseball team. Yeah,
we have two teams.
And we don't have a football team.
We have a basketball team, which people are passionate about, but the last time they won a title was in 1977.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
So,
we also have the Thorns. We have the
Thorns.
League.
Sure.
We also have a hockey league.
We have a minor league hockey team that's pretty good. They won the title 2 years ago, the Winterhawks, but they're minor league.
But the thing is, so the Blazers, that's people from all over Oregon, Blazers.
Yeah.
Portland, Timbers.
Yeah.
On a Timbers day, you will look out any window and you will see a sea of green. People are just. I live near the park, PG Park, or what is it called now?
It's called Providence.
Providence Park. The stadium, and so I see when people on Timbers days. Just droves of people just heading over there. It's like a religion. It's a thing.
Well, we have actually one of the largest fan base. Our fan base actually intimidates other.
Yeah,
and
really
that's
intimidates other cities.
And we have a really
Timbers
great stadium as well. Our stadium's world renowned. In the list of top 20 stadiums in the world, Providence Park usually makes it on the list. People love coming, and the atmosphere is great, and it's right in the middle of the city too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Dallas, not to get too into sports talk here, because I know that video games and sports, that Venn diagram, there's not a lot of overlap a lot of times, but
no, this is EA Sports.
Right. That's the only middle part of that Venn diagram. But in Dallas, their stadium is 45 minutes outside of Dallas.
Right.
And there's no public transit going there. And apparently it's super pain in the ass to get there.
Yeah.
On the day of the last match when Portland played, their security held people up until halftime. There were people who didn't get into the stadium until halftime.
Jeez.
Just goes to show you how not together other teams have it. But Portland,
For those that don't know, Rick, super big Timbers fan. That's why the face reveal was in front of Providence Park for him.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And people that think that that's a green screen behind him, incorrect. That's the largest Timbers flag you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, God, I wish that were true.
So I'm really excited.
God, I wish that were true.
Cool thing is kickoff's at 1, which means that I'll still be able to make it for the stream, and I'll either be the happiest guy in the world or I'll be the most depressed guy in the world, depending on the outcome of that match. But
see how that goes.
That's what I've been looking forward to all week.
That's code for he'll either be really happy or really drunk. So,
well, either way, I'm going to be really drunk.
Okay, excuse me.
I do remember when I revealed the Stumped shirt to Rick. Rick's like, "Oh my God, it looks so much like the Timbers one."
Well, no, you've got the cross axes, which is a very Timbers thing.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
So
that has been my week.
To put a little bow on that as well, just for the sports talk, I will say another thing that really, I think, benefits our Timbers fandom kind of deal in Portland is that in Seattle, they have the Sounders, and we have this rivalry with the Sounders that creates such a really cool dynamic between Seattle and Portland that we didn't have until the Timbers really came along, right?
Now we hate
Seattle.
Really Before we were ambivalent, but now we have a reason to hate them.
Yeah, let's fight.
I'll go up there for PAX, okay, until we have the infrastructure.
No, yeah,
to have it here.
you actually left to go watch a Timbers game at the only Timbers bar.
You found a Timbers bar.
It wasn't even a Timbers bar. It was just
Danger.
the most Timbers friendly, but I was still the only Timbers supporter.
And you know what the funny thing was is that during that time you were gone, we met up with Kakajo. We actually got to meet him in person, and then in his vlog, he even noted that you left.
Oh yeah, he drew a little picture of me with a soccer ball.
Yep, sad Rick. Rick wasn't
I'll probably
there.
put it inside there for you to see. Okay, so let's get into it because that was a long How's Your Week. We had a lot of stuff to talk about, guys.
It feels like it's been a while since we did this, and
we haven't seen each other. We haven't seen each other for 2 weeks, and so we're catching up a little bit.
I love you
here,
guys.
too.
You guys are my
I
best.
missed you guys.
Love you guys.
I missed you guys too. All of everybody who's watching. I miss everybody. But let's get into talk here. Let's start off with some Star Wars talk because by the time this comes out, No, by the time our next podcast comes out, Star Wars will have already released.
Yeah, what is the official release date?
I think it's the 16th.
16th.
Right.
Well, actually, the 16th is
It's like
the 17th. I'm sorry.
Oh, 17th? Okay.
Yeah, the night of the 17th because that's that Thursday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And we probably won't be able to watch it a week after it comes out.
Yeah, I'm not
only
going to
because
release day.
I imagine.
No, I'm going the day
it's
after. I'm
the
going on
largest
Friday.
pre-release sale.
I'm going on Friday.
Well, have you
Jazz?
guys pre-ordered tickets? Because from my understanding is that it's been sold out for like the first few days.
No, you can
is it
find
really?
you can find tickets
Yeah.
for Friday. But
Okay, like Friday afternoon is when I'll go
yeah.
at like 10 a.m.
Thursday,
on
it's
Friday.
gone.
Because my
probably.
brother actually bought tickets, and he was just like, I don't know if I want to go. I bought the tickets because I could. And then he's like, oh, shit, you can sell these tickets on eBay for $300 a piece.
yeah, it's
Fair
ridiculous.
enough.
I'm not going opening night, but I'll find tickets the day after.
You know, we're oldish, so I like going to see movies in the middle of the afternoon. Rick, you and I, let's set a little. We're gonna have a little play date.
If
You
I
and
could
we're
go
gonna
like
see
during
it
the day,
Friday.
Yeah, I would love to go too.
yeah,
Let's do it, all of
I
us.
would go during the
Skip
day.
your
We'll go.
works.
We'll go during the day. Okay.
It's decided.
We've decided. Everybody, keep your
Now-
mouth shut until we see this movie.
And now, when you two go into work and say like, "Oh man, I was sick on that Friday that
I
Star
can't even
Wars
say
came out,"
I
there's
love that
definitely
you,
not
I love
video
that you
evidence.
guys are the ones that are like, we're oldish, so we can just shirk our responsibilities and go during a work day.
No,
Fuck
we'll
you
go on
guys.
Saturday. We'll go on Saturday.
My work doesn't allow sick time unless you're actually sick. They'll
Yeah.
actually hound me and be like, were you actually sick?
Anyway.
Because that does not
doctor?
sound like a cold.
Jasmine, Sarah's got makeup. We'll make you look sick. We'll take a picture. It's fine.
A punch in
Don't
the
worry about
eye. Bam. There you go. Take one for the team.
That's not sick, bro. That's fucked up.
But she's incapacitated. Let's just call it that.
It'll probably be like a week before I can see it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Fair enough.
two.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But
Then I can find out what BB-8's mission is.
the important thing is
What is his mission?
we can speculate. That's the important thing because before the movie
God damn
releases,
it.
we can speculate.
Yes, there's
So-
lots to speculate about.
Oh
There
my
is
God.
a lot to speculate, but the thing I want to primarily speculate about is something that I've been familiar with the theory, but I hadn't seen such a well put together theory until I saw that video that Price linked earlier in the week. Jar Jar Binks, the
No,
most
I linked
powerful
that.
Sith
That was
in
Jasmine.
the universe.
Yeah. Because I was
I
like,
gave that
like,
to you guys.
I linked
Oh,
it to some people.
that was
but
Jazz.
I gave that to you guys, but I was like, is this a great conspiracy or what? Because
All right,
you are
hold
the
on,
only
hold
two
on. That was
conspiracy
Jazz.
nuts that I know.
Jazz totally gets credit for that.
Jazz's credit.
Let's explain the theory, because I
Yes.
haven't watched the video, and I'm sure our fans haven't either.
The
You
theory
didn't watch
is
it?
that Jar Jar
Seriously?
Binks wasn't he appeared to be a bumbling idiot, but in actuality, he was the most powerful Sith in the universe, and he was trying to get in with the Jedi under the guise of being this bumbling idiot.
I need to find
But
this.
they point out all of the reasons why he was probably a Sith, and he had to be a powerful Sith to be Force sensitive, and for no Jedi to be able to perceive him to be Jedi, because Jedi can sense these sorts of things.
Right.
So the number one thing, and the thing that I've seen pointed out before, is that he does this crazy standing jump with all of these twists when they go into the Gungan city, when he jumps into the water.
Right.
Like, it's like the
Yes.
first thing you see is he does, like, it's like they meet him and he's like, oh, we used to go to my city. Like, he's just being a goofball, but then he does this, like, leap into the air, like 30 feet, doing like a crazy cross flip and then diving into the water.
The kind of jump that nobody could do unless you were a
Especially
Jedi.
not someone that seems to be clumsy and like falling
Yes.
over in every other scene.
Right.
And the clumsiness, like when they're fighting on Naboo, he ends up destroying like tons of the bots in, the tanks and everything, seemingly by accident. He's like fumbling around with like the explosives and stuff, and whoa, and falling all over. But they compare that to like this drunken master form of kung fu.
Shi
And-
Quan. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And though it seems clumsy, it's all deliberate. And again, just keeping up the ruse that he's doing this by accident. He's a clumsy idiot.
And
he's an
really
oaf.
quickly to point out with what you just said about that being a style of, fighting, the Jedi are based off of the Shaolin monks. And this Shi Quan is a form of Shaolin style.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, oh, this lines up with a martial art.
Right.
This lines up with the martial art that was the central tenet that led the Jedi. Like this is the thing that the Jedi were based off of. So for them to be, the Sith based off of this drunken master style or whatever is not that far-fetched. Like that's a very tight line to run there.
Okay, another great point is when they end up the ship, the Amidala ship, ends up breaking down on Tatooine.
Yes.
The reason it breaks down is because Jar Jar Binks fucks something up in the engine room. And he's fumbling around down there. He's all alone. And R2-D2 actually catches onto him and ends up shocking him like as in I saw what you were doing kind of a thing, and then goes up and repairs the ship. But
because that's his duty, right? R2, even though R2 is like this kind of stubborn robot, whatever his AI is, he's got this little bit of a streak to him. But in that instance, he lets it be known, like, Jar Jar, what the hell are you doing? Smack you or whatever. And now my AI takes over and says, all right, I got to go repair the ship, instead of going and telling somebody, hey, this dude's screwing shit up.
Now they're down on Tatooine. And Qui-Gon Jinn is talking with the commander guy, and they're like, okay, what do we do? Where do we go? And Jar Jar Binks is standing right between the two of them. And he's looking at them talk, and he's moving his lips as though he's planting these ideas in their head using the Force. And it's like, why? Well, why would he be moving his lips and not saying anything during this scene? It seems so strange.
And one of the things that people pointed out, and I think this is a fair thing to say, and again, we'll talk about how valid in George Lucas's mind this theory is, but he's a CG character. Everything he does is deliberate. All right. This isn't an actor on set who's, looking at someone saying something and accidentally mouthing their words. Right. This is a cartoon, essentially.
Right.
Everything he did was deliberate. And so if he's moving his lips when people are saying important things, and in the past we've seen Jedi influence people by talking and making them do things, right? This is what a really powerful Sith Lord could do. Drive a conversation in the direction that he wanted it to go so that the outcome was determined by him.
Now Now let's just, this is all pretty this is all pretty pretty impressive. This is all pretty solid sort of theory so far, but now it's going to get concrete.
Dude.
We're going to jump forward, okay?
So
in Attack of the Clones, Jar Jar is now a part of the Senate.
Galactic Senate, yeah.
Okay? And it's his idea to abolish democracy and give power to the Empire, to give power to Palpatine.
Was it?
Yes, it was his idea. Not to mention, he was constantly seen with by Palpatine's side. Every single scene where there's Palpatine and Jar Jar is by Palpatine's side.
And here's the thing, even in Phantom Menace, even before they're not supposed to know one another, in the final scenes of Phantom Menace, when you have there's the funeral and there's all this other stuff, you see at Qui-Gon's funeral, it's Palpatine next to Jar Jar.
Yep.
And they shouldn't know one another.
Yeah.
But they would know one another if Jar Jar is the Sith Lord, and Palpatine is the Sith apprentice below him. Of course, Jar Jar would be there. Of course, they would know one another.
Because there are always two. There's always a master and apprentice. But not Darth Sidious. Who's the
Darth Maul?
No, the
Dooku?
No,
which one?
The one that trained. The one that was able to bring people back from the dead.
Plagueis? No,
Plagueis, yes, Darth Plagueis.
Okay.
Darth Plagueis is dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's not the Sith Master to Palpatine. Who is
Darth
the question.
Sidious, right?
Who is? Who's Darth Sidious is?
And so the idea, right, before this Jar Jar theory has blown all of our minds, was, okay, so it's Sidious and then Maul, right? That's the master and the apprentice. But the thing is if Jar Jar is this high-level Sith, right, that is running these things. And we know that there's a history of there being moments where there are more than two Sith at the time. It's not that there can only be two. It's just that there always are at least two. And so for there to be a High Lord Sith who's telling Palpatine everything he needs to do in order to get to this point. And then Darth Maul is kind of like the low level, doing the job that Palpatine says. He might not even know about Jar Jar, right? Like it's that far up the chain. And so
the thing is,
it's so deep. It's so it gets
it
me
could
so
have
hard.
been such a good plot twist if George Lucas didn't chicken out. And there's footage of George Lucas like in the behind the scenes talking about like he was committed to Jar Jar Binks. He was like, no, Jar Jar Binks makes the entire thing work. You can't lose Jar Jar Binks. And so like why was he so like why was he so committed to Jar Jar is my question. I feel like the backlash of the fans was too much, and then at the last minute, they threw in Count Dooku, who was a nobody. Count Dooku was so irrelevant. And Dooku has the showdown with Yoda. Could you imagine a Yoda showdown with Jar Jar Binks? That's what it should have been.
Lightsaber.
That's what it should have been.
And so here's the thing, though. Like, the thing about Jar Jar is that, like, what irritates people is how cartoonish he is, how childish he is, how much he seems to be an appeal to children, an appeal to, like, the everyday moviegoer. It seems like a very condescending character to put into Star Wars. But if all of that was a part of a ruse, a Sith ruse, Jar Jar is completely absolved of all of his sins in my mind, because that is exactly the kind of behavior you would expect from someone who is so far up there, who is ready to manipulate the entirety of all of this to behave in such a way.
And in the video,
it's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
In the video,
it's exactly what you want.
In the video that's persuaded us, the creator points out that before Yoda is revealed to be the great Jedi Master, he is an idiot. He is a bumbling idiot, just like Jar Jar. He's arguing with R2. He's like, "Bro, give me that. Bro, what's this?" He's chewing on shit he shouldn't be chewing on. And Luke is just annoyed with him. He's like, "Take me to the Jedi Master." And finally, Yoda's like, "Oh, I am the Jedi Master." But before that, he's an idiot.
And Rick's talking about Empire. Like, he's talking about the original trilogy, like when things were good. And the thing is like, like you're saying, the guy in the video points out, like, this is a trope. Like, this is a thing that this happens in storytelling all the time, of this apparent fool who ends up being like the master, the one who holds the knowledge, the one who pushes the story forward.
It was actually, I'll link the name of the movie that he references, but it's a movie that Lucas took a ton of influence from.
Right.
That he was very influenced by this movie, and it's used in that in the same way. But okay.
So I think that here's the flaw, because I don't know, I haven't watched this video, but I think here's my flaw in this theory so far. We have to then believe that Lucas is capable of telling stories that well.
Totally. And when you say that, I 100% go, nope, you're right. You're right. I don't believe that Lucas is capable of this, only because, like, he hasn't shown it in the past. Like, all the good decisions in Star Wars are Lucas turned in a draft and then other people made it better. He's an ideas guy in my mind.
And I think that's what infuriates me more than the original or the new trilogies is the fact that, like, there was such a good story just sitting there. It was right in front of you. Like, all you had to do was just take it across the touch line. You were there. The goal was in sight.
And here's the thing,
you fumbled it.
Here's the beautiful thing, though. We're now in a world where Star Wars is no longer connected to Lucas. He has no control. I'm doing the Jedi mind trick as I do this. And here's the thing. And this is what, like, once I saw this part, this is where my mind, like, I'd already gone like this. And then as soon as I read this part, my head exploded out the back, and I was there. I was all the way back there in that closet, okay? And the thing is, the Supreme Lord of the Empire now, in the movie that's coming out, The Force Awakens, Episode 7, all right, is called Emperor Snoke, or Supreme Lord Snoke. The word Snoke is a word for a fish, okay?
Right.
A fish that looks a lot like Jar Jar. In Dutch, like in Snoke, in Dutch means this fish.
Means
That's
pike.
what this thing looks like.
I mean, it means this pike, right? So here's the thing. Darth Vader is father in Dutch. The fact that it's that language that is used in order to give the name to the person who is probably the overarching Sith Lord in this upcoming film means that if J.J. Abrams heard this idea and liked it, he can make it canon. It doesn't have to be George Lucas. It doesn't matter if that's what George Lucas intended. You can retcon it and make it better. You can make me want to watch Phantom Menace.
You're talking about the same director that loves to look at fan theories and then just fuck with people, okay?
Absolutely, you're right. You're 100% right there. And so I don't expect it to happen. But if it does...
You looked up Snoke?
I looked up Snoke, and this is the picture that I get. I just linked it to everybody.
Oh, yeah, I've looked up pictures of Snoke, too, but I don't think that that's actually Snoke.
No.
Let me see which one you linked up.
Are you talking about like a character?
That's a long leak. Oh, I hope so. Okay, that's not the picture I've seen.
Doesn't he look menacing with that red lightsaber?
He looks the Phantom menacing.
Is it a picture of Jar Jar with a saber?
That's apparently one of the first images that come up.
Oh, man.
That's pretty cool.
And actually on the Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, the
Wikipedia.
Snoke was a male individual who served as Supreme Leader of the First Order approximately 30 years after the Battle of Endor. He's a tall individual, had a very distinctive idiosyncratic bone and facial structure. Snoke was also a powerful figure in the dark side of the Force, with at least one Force-sensitive, Kylo Ren, working under him. So
hold on. Here's another really important thing to consider here, okay? Jar Jar Binks is one of the first motion capture characters that have been done with the modern motion capture model, okay? All right? That's an important thing to consider when you realize that the person who is playing Emperor Snoke, Supreme Lord Snoke, is Andy Serkis.
Yep.
The guy, the one person in this world who you go to for this motion capture. He did Gollum, right? That's where he got into motion capture. He is Caesar in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He was brought in on the Avengers films in order to give consultation for the Hulk, all right? He's the guy you go to do this right. How better to fix Jar Jar than to take the best person in the industry and make him Jar Jar?
Behind the scenes, Wikipedia trivia, his name was officially unveiled May 28th, 2015. So his name was only unveiled a few months back. And his appearance underwent many changes throughout development of the film, with the character's final appearance not being decided until principal photography. Now, me personally, I find it hard to believe that we're going to find out that Snoke is Jar Jar Binks, but if it were, I would be so excited.
This is a fun time.
You know, Jedis live for quite a long time.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, like, yeah, if
I don't know, Yoda's species might live longer than others, but yeah.
Right. And then with Jar Jar, we know nothing about Gungan physiology. We don't know how long they live.
And Jar Jar
was
young. He was young, and I mean,
we think he was
young, but I mean, Obi-Wan could have lived longer if he weren't cut down by Vader, So I mean, the 30 years after the Battle of Endor isn't so long that this person couldn't still be alive and be an old, wise Jedi.
And just to put a little bow on this, jump all the way back to the beginning. Another thing of evidence, a line of evidence that this person points out in this video, and that's in the theory, is the way that the Gungans react to Jar Jar is not exactly how you react to the town fool, right? Because that's how he's portrayed. He's portrayed as, this bumbling fool. They take him very seriously. Like,
almost
the
afraid
guards
of him.
show up, and they appear to be trying to intimidate him away. They're essentially showing excessive force towards Jar Jar in the way that they approach him. The way that you would approach someone who you're afraid of, right? Not someone who you think is a, bumbling idiot. You don't think Jar Jar is capable of doing anything bad, right? In the original, in episodes 1 and 2 and 3, right? But in light of this, in this theory, right? Maybe they've seen him do some things that are twisted and dark, right? And another thing, Palpatine, Sidious, is from Naboo.
Yes.
The same planet where the Gungans live. The same planet where this budding, Force-able Gungan may have found his apprentice.
Yep.
Has your mind been blown
there you go.
yet?
Jar Jar, whether or not it's true, and because J.J. Abrams can scrap and rewrite canon, I'm rewriting it right now. Jar Jar Binks was the most powerful Sith in the universe. Okay?
My thing is, like, even if it doesn't end up being true canon, this is my head canon.
Yeah.
Going forward, this is fact. This is knowledge. And then the Hulk shows up in a spaceship, and he has a fight with Jar Jar because Disney now owns Marvel and Star Wars, and Kingdom Hearts, whenever that comes out, is going to be fucking amazing.
Listen up, Disney, who we technically now work for. So maybe we've got some sway in this. Make it happen, okay? Come on now. Just come on. Make a man's dream come true. Okay,
boy.
let's put a bow on this topic.
We've been talking about this topic for
We're
quite a
wrapping
long
it
time.
up because we've talked about this for a while.
Oh, man.
Let's talk Batman news.
Okay. Two things of Batman news. We'll talk about trailers second. Let me talk about the first thing first because it's video game related. So, right before we started this podcast, the Video Game Awards are going on. And obviously a big part of the Video Game Awards is they do trailers, right? First announcement trailers is kind of like the E3 of the latter part of a year. This is when you show trailers for games that you're trying to announce coming down the line. And so Telltale announced that they're making a Batman game, along the Telltale series, the very story-driven, kind of like the modern adventure game, right? It's very much the modern point and click is what Telltale does. Personally, Telltale, in my opinion, I think they make great games. And if this Batman, here's what I would like to see, because we know nothing about it. It was a teaser trailer. It just was like a Batman symbol and some, voices talking about Batman. What I think would be the perfect game, what I would like to see, is essentially Batman, the animated series, done in the Telltale style. You play Kevin Conroy Batman. The bad guy is Mark Hamill Joker. You're going through things. Everything looks like that original Bruce Timm art-inspired show. If they made that into a game, that could be the best Telltale game yet. Like, Walking Dead, fantastic. Wolf Among Us, in my opinion, their pinnacle. That's their peak. You could jump way above that if you did a Batman the Animated Series Telltale game, because that's one of the greatest series ever made.
So I guess the question that everyone, I think, kind of had when they announced this is, I mean, Batman's an action star. Telltale games aren't.
Mm-hmm.
They are a storytelling
not
game.
Personally,
necessarily, though, because, I mean...
You could be like solving a crime, and there's occasional fighting.
Exactly what Jasmine just said.
Because Batman is the greatest detective in the world.
Exactly. The detective. DC. Do you know what DC stands for?
Detective Comics.
Detective Comics.
Sure, but that's not how Batman has been portrayed in forever, and especially not in any video game.
No, you're right. You are 100% right. And that's the problem, in my opinion, is that Batman has come so far from then. He's become much more this action star. Like the Christian Bale films, as good as those films were, The Dark Knight, possibly the best Batman movie ever made. You could argue about the originals, the 89 or the...
Even in Tim Burton's ones, man, he's not a detective.
Right. No, exactly. But the thing is if you go watch the animated cartoon, he is the detective. That's a huge running thing about it, is it's all about him and Robin, trying to figure out what's going on. The detective part is huge.
I think the 90s gave a lot more depth to Batman than he had ever before. Grant Morrison did a run of Batman,
Mm-hmm.
Grant Morrison writes comics. He doesn't write action comics. He writes
right. Deep.
Right, philosophical sort of comics. So, I mean, so many writers have taken a crack at Batman that I think that there's tons of material out there for them to develop a decent story.
So here's how I see it. Telltale is really good about doing narrative comics. I imagine they're going to go the full detective route. What they're going to do is probably the Batman portions of it that are actiony are all going to be time-based. The time.
Yeah, quick time.
It's going to be quick time. It's going to be quick time because every time there's an action scene, it's always quick time. Most of the time, I'm going to say you're going to be about 50% Bruce Wayne, 50% Batman.
Oh, that would be... I was just thinking Batman, but doing
because
Bruce Wayne shit would be fun.
He's just a bachelor. He's kind of weird, because he's a bit eccentric.
Yeah.
They talk about Bruce Wayne kind of like, we don't know what's going on with him because we haven't seen him in a while.
Uh-huh. Dude, Imagine
I bet
this.
it's 50% Bruce Wayne, 50% Batman.
I think you're onto something. I mean,
that's a great idea.
We don't get nearly enough Bruce Wayne, but I mean, the man spends more than half of his life as Bruce Wayne. You would think you should hear a little bit more about that side of the story, right?
But think about this from a Telltale perspective, right? What's the thing that always pops up in Telltale? This person's going to remember this, right?
Oh,
they're going to remember this.
Yeah.
If you're playing Bruce Wayne and Batman, you might accidentally say something to someone that tells them that this is me. Right? As Bruce Wayne, I told you this. And then when you make a comment over here and I say something, you go, wait, didn't Bruce Wayne know that? Didn't Bruce Wayne say that? That's weird. What if you could accidentally give away your identity by being
you might have to take somebody out. You might
remembering, by being too
Batman
close with someone.
Kill, though. Batman
He
does
might.
not kill.
He doesn't kill.
Does not.
He hasn't spilled the beans yet, Maybe if you spill the beans.
But
that's one of the reoccurring thing about Batman is he doesn't kill. Like
That's
he
his
gets
one
really
thing.
close to that breaking point.
He's never been exposed yet, Jasmine.
But that's the thing. Like that's the 100% of the Joker's arc in Batman is he's always trying to push Batman to kill him because he sees Batman as order and he is chaos. And so the one thing, Joker's victory would be to get Batman to kill him. That's what makes
breaks the whole thing of what Batman is.
He's just calling Judge Dredd. He's order, but he don't mind killing.
Oh, dude. Sylvester Stallone. Hey, how's it going?
I know.
I'm the law.
It's a travesty. But anyways, Jasmine, I think that you make a really good point there.
Yeah.
That I think that if it's 50-50, Bruce Wayne, Batman, there's could be some interesting stuff there. But still, detective focus, right? Like that's what you could do in a point and click rather than in an action game.
I imagine they're going to bring back a lot of characters, a lot of villains.
Oh yeah.
I don't know when it's going to take place though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and how it's going to relate to some of the other stories that are going on.
Maybe it will be origin. Could it be an origin?
I'd prefer a Batman that already exists. We've seen the origin a million times.
We've seen the origin story so many times is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Thomas Wayne get shot in an alley and his wife to drop pearls and just I get it.
That'll be a flashback.
Right?
It'll probably be a flashback. The only problem I have with the whole thing is I like Telltale, but I'm kind of getting sick of the episodic.
I'm with
games.
you, Jasmine.
I'm really sick of being like, okay, I'm really into this game. Oh, I have to wait 3 months for the next one.
Yeah, I hate
That's the reason why I still
content.
haven't beaten Wolf Among Us is because I was like, okay, I'll just wait for it. And then I'm just like, okay, I completely lost interest.
Yeah.
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 No, I'm 100% with you on that. I hate the episodic thing. It's not that I hate it. It's just that I wait now. When a Telltale game comes out, I say okay, that's great. You guys are playing that. I'm not going to watch videos. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm going to ignore it. I'll pick it up when it's done.
I will say that the last Telltale, the Minecraft series, those episodes have been coming out a bit more
quicker.
Frequent.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they
yeah.
give YouTubers an earlier copy to get it done.
Because
it just
you've seen a lot of people record it.
Well, I've seen a lot of people record it. I also see it's actually moving quicker than some of the other ones in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe they complete the game
yeah.
and then they're like, okay, we'll give you 2 weeks to do it. The next one will come out on the third week.
Telltale, I have to say though they're doing things well, they've got a pretty cush because they just keep taking existing properties and then just making their game, their cookie cutter game. You know what you're going to get from a Telltale game.
Yeah. They have a very structured way that you know how it's going to play out, basically.
Right. Yeah. Right.
They've figured out what works. And let's remember, and this is something I think a lot of people forget because it's when you think of Telltale, you think, oh, The Walking Dead, and then on. But it's they have tons of games that came out before them. The Jurassic Park game they made, garbage. All right.
I actually bought the Back to the Future one. That was kind of fun.
Back to the Future was all right, right?
Yeah,
but
they did the. I think they sort of started off with this episodic style with their reboot of Sam and Max, which was also kind of
Which
did they also do Monkey Tail? Or
Monkey's Island. Monkey's Island.
I can't remember.
But that was, the Sam Max, I think, was the start of them going episodic style.
It was the start of them going episodic and using a lot of the stuff that we would now call the Telltale style. The three-dimensional, it's dialogue driven, and then you kind of move around in a 3D space, and then essentially point and click. But the thing is the Sam and Max games were okay. The Back to the Future games were okay. The Jurassic Park game was garbage. And then Walking Dead came out, and that was actually really good. And then they kind of ran with what worked in Walking Dead, and they've done it a bunch. And Jazz, you and I were talking about this just briefly before the podcast, that there's a little bit too much of it coming out too quickly to where it feels like there's not enough space for this kind of a game to keep coming out so quickly and like competing with one another, where it's like, if you had Walking Dead season 2 or whatever, and then you got nothing else for a year and a half, Walking Dead season 2 looks like a lot of fun to play. If you've got Walking Dead Season 2, Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands, Minecraft Story Mode. Exactly.
Game of Thrones, the freaking...
They're kind of reaching peak saturation.
Yes.
Yeah. And so...
I completely forgot about Borderlands.
Exactly.
I haven't even played
it.
It's really funny.
Well, and here's my thing. Like... I remember when it came out, I was like, oh, I gotta play this. And now it's all out. It's all done. Right. I could go and pick it up. It was on sale on Steam for like $10 a couple days ago.
Why can't they be like every other developer and publisher who's like, you know what, here's our game this year. Or maybe here's our 2 games this year, whatever. But this year alone, there's been like, how many Telltale games have there been this year?
So,
I'm going to look it up, actually.
There's been Borderlands, there's been Minecraft,
But here's another thing.
Game of Thrones.
Then there are things like Life is Strange. Square Enix stepping into Telltale's space and doing a game like Telltale. And so the thing is, and Jazz and I were talking about this, it is kind of like that saturation point of like Assassin's Creed, of like Call of Duty, where it's like when you release things so quickly to where I haven't had enough time to kind of be separated from this game and feel like, I'm really excited for this game.
You haven't had the time to want the game.
That like pretty much now I'm like, okay, Telltale games, they're here, they're there. I'll pick one when I feel like it, rather than having that sense of urgency. When Fallout came out, we all wanted to get it right away. Why? Yeah. We haven't played Fallout in like a goddamn half a decade, right? Okay. I want to play it.
The other side of that coin is, like I said earlier, the episodes, I think they're trying to figure out what the great balance is. Because before, when they put out a Telltale game, you waited months before the next episode.
Dude,
so they're trying to figure out what's that point
months.
where it's just like, okay, we can release it without you feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now they're actually getting into more and more IPs. It's just becoming a little bit more saturated. And like Borderlands, I remember when that came out, I bought it. I thought it was fun and I loved it. But then I was like, okay, not season 2, episode 2 is going to come out, I don't know when. And I completely forgot about it. Like just now talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I did purchase that. I should probably play episode 2.
You should go finish it now.
So Telltale has released 4 separate IPs this year.
Ridiculous.
4, which is ridiculous.
Which is, in my opinion, it's way too much. And I feel like they're trying to cash in because right now it's really hot commodity. And they're probably being approached by a ton of IPs who are like, turn this into a Telltale game. You've done a great job in the past. And so they're just churning it out. And they've got the formula down.
They do.
And it can't be that hard.
My understanding for their development process is they don't actually get approached. They pick their IPs and
reach out.
But I know that for Game of Thrones specifically, like they basically built the first episode on spec, and then they went to HBO and they were like, "Give us the license, please."
Yep.
And they did.
Well, and to be fair, specifically with Game of Thrones, like it's not just a Game of Thrones game, but it is like licensed with the freaking actors from the show. Like that one, they went all in on. And here's what I will say is that like they make good games. All right, no question about it. What they do well, and I respect and appreciate that. But I guess what I would say is that like when Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us came out, I felt like I had to play these. These are necessary games. Like if you want to know what a good game is, you play these. Now there are so many Telltale games coming out that instead of me feeling like I got to play every Telltale game, I now feel like, okay, I'll just wait and pick the games that appeal to my particular, fandoms or whatever. So it's like Batman one, I'm probably on board. As long as it, follows somewhat along the lines of the kind of Batman that I like, I'll play that one. Tales from the Borderlands, I liked Borderlands. I didn't love it enough to feel like I need to play it. Game of Thrones, I'm so tired of that show. I don't really feel like I need to play that one. Minecraft Story Mode, I might play Minecraft Story Mode.
You're
because
tired of Game of Thrones?
Dude, are you not?
Price, no. I can't wait for the next season.
After that crazy cliffhanger at the last season?
Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't even finish watching the last season because I read the goddamn books and was bored with the show by like season 2.
It's off book now. It's off book now.
You guys both just said it at the same time, and that's fucking hilarious. But here's my thing. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the characters anymore. I don't care about the show anymore.
Price.
It's taken way too long for both George R.R. Martin and the damn show to get to a point.
You've now drunk Chad's Kool-Aid way too much. You need to just chill. We all know how much he hates George R.R. Martin.
Okay.
Can I just take a second? We've already mentioned Chad like 2 or 3 times in this podcast. What I love is that we're going to do Stumped for another like 2 or 3 years before I finally convince Chad to come and do something. So he's going to be built up into this
Hey, he
monster that you guys talk
kind of
about.
guffawed in one of our game beasts.
That's right. He did. He was in the background.
He came over with our friends. They were like,
It was the,
we're recording
that
today.
was
He's
early.
Like, we could watch.
It was
and
the first.
so him and Nate were in our living room while we're playing Game Beast and just hear.
It was the first Mount Your Friends. Like they couldn't
Mount Your
contain their
Friends.
laughters.
Yeah.
And what was that robot game that we played that day?
Oh, which one?
I can't remember.
It was like
Was
a
it-
Smash Bros. Clone.
Was it the
yeah,
Mega
yeah.
Punch or something?
Yeah.
Mega Punch. Yeah, whatever that game was.
Megabyte
Megabyte.
Punch.
Megabyte Punch. Good. Fun game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, so
anyway,
okay,
All right, we need to
that's
put a
the
bow on
closest-
this.
that's the
We do
closest
need to
he's
put a
been
bow on
inside
this.
Stump.
And I want to just briefly say, and wow, it's been an hour since I referenced this, nearly. I said I wanted to talk about the trailer, Batman versus Superman trailer.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new one.
Garbage.
Thankfully, I read comments before I watch anything, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? You just gave away the entire movie."
That's I
in
have
this
The
watched
entire
it.
movie and
You've seen
probably
it?
the entire spoiler.
Yeah, yes. So I
Ridiculous.
will say that from me watching it, it's an entertaining trailer, but I feel like Jesus Christ, they did spoil so much about it, and I do feel like it was almost a reaction to the Captain America trailer.
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
dumb.
The Civil War trailer came out, and that trailer was damn good. And I think that they got a lot of criticism when the first Batman vs. Superman trailer came out, right? That it was too dark, too serious, too intense.
I liked the
but
first
I
one
liked
just fine.
the first trailer.
I was like,
this
okay,
is-
I might actually want to go see this.
exactly. I felt like this tone is different from the Marvel universe, but if this is the tone of the DC universe you're building, I can get behind that. And I feel like they heard the criticism that this is way too dark, and so they said like, okay, let's make a fun trailer like Marvel does. But the thing is you filmed a whole movie devoid of humor because it's a dark environment, and then you say like, oh, let's pull the humor out of it, let's grab every single joke, we've got about 3 of them, let's put them in the trailer, and it doesn't make any sense. It has no continuity. It just has like a couple of little jokes that are sort of jokes but not really, and then you reveal the villain that I assume was supposed to be a big reveal in the film.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And without spoiling it or anything,
Yeah.
it is like a major villain from the story arc as well of Batman's story arc.
It is
DC story.
mind-boggling.
Yeah,
that they would reveal that character and like that in that way where you kind of go like, if the movie carries out like a normal film, we know that is supposed to be an Act 3 reveal that blows your mind.
You know
But
what
when-
blew my mind was that they also revealed they also just introduced Wonder Woman.
Now they showed her in the previous trailer, so like
I
that
know,
wasn't
but
like,
it just seemed like in the trailer she just came out of nowhere.
you know, it was for sure. In this
And
trailer, it was definitely she came out of
Reddit's already
fucking
created
nowhere.
a new cut where they don't give any spoilers for people
Okay.
who want to see the new trailer, and already people are like, that's a million times better, and that's the way it should have been.
It's ridiculous.
I am so sick of studios spoiling good movies, or not just spoiling good movies, but taking a good movie. And there's a movie that it always comes to mind called The Ice Harvest, and it was
I
a
remember that
movie.
movie.
It was a movie with
Was that
John Cusack.
Yeah, me and Ash saw it.
And the
John
trailer
Cusack,
for
all
it,
black.
you were like, "Oh, this is a comedy," but the movie is not a comedy
was
at
dark.
all. It's dark. If anything, it's the darkest of dark comedies. And
It's pretty dark.
like, I went in and I enjoyed the movie. It was a good movie, but I was like, this movie was not it wasn't what I signed up for at all.
Sure.
But it's like a studio that's like, oh, we can't market this, so what do we do? Okay, let's make it into a comedy. People like comedies, okay? Like, studio interference is the worst fucking thing to movies these days.
You know what? A movie that was also portrayed completely differently than what the trailer the trailer of the movie was Daybreakers.
Oh, yeah.
Daybreakers.
So
That movie is awesome.
no, okay. One,
No,
you know how I
it's
feel about
not.
gore.
All right, now Jasmine, that's
You know how I
She
feel
hates
about
Al
gore.
Gore.
But no,
She
I-
does
I
not
went
vote
in
Al
thinking
Gore.
this is going to be a
She's-
political vampire movie. They're running out of blood. What's going to happen?
It's
There's
not.
some humans. There's mostly vampires. What's going on? Next thing you know, people are exploding.
No, I will say that the trailer for that movie really built it up to be like a political drama of what happens when vampires take over the world, and there is the real threat that they no longer have human blood to drink. Like, they made that very explicit in the trailer.
I thought maybe they might starve.
So are you telling me we never find out?
Monsters and explode.
Do we never find out what happens in a world where there are no humans?
No, you just find out what happens when they explode.
Yeah.
The best thing about the entire movie was William Dafoe.
The trailer
the best part
was essentially like the first act of that film, which really does carry out exactly what you guys are talking about, right? It's like you have this weird dystopian future. It's always filmed at night because, of course, they have to sleep during the day because the sunlight is out. They do the whole thing where, like, you see, like, here's what happens if you don't feed. You become like a weird Nosferatu, creepy's the version of a vampire. Like, they go through all those motions in the first 30 minutes of that movie. And then it becomes about, like, how do you cure vampirism? What do you do beyond?
It wasn't how to cure vampirism. It was like how to make like a human clone blood, basically synthetic human blood.
And then the movie really just became about like the handful of dudes that weren't set up to harvest, and they were just going to fucking murder everybody.
Right. Well, but then the other thing is, like, it's that whole arc about, like, them accidentally finding out that if you can, travel through the sunlight but not die, it purges you of the disease.
Wait a minute,
right?
When did this become Daybreakers?
Sorry. Anyway. Let's step back
I'm just saying, the trailer
showed very
political vampire movie, gore fest, explodathon. I went in completely I was so desensitized by the end of the movie. I was like, I don't even know what's what anymore. I was like originally just going in because I had William Dafoe and Sam Neill, and I liked those two characters. I thought Sam Neill was awesome. He's very scary in that movie.
So wait,
yeah.
When did this become Daybreakers, Doug?
But yes,
take 2 seconds.
Another really bad trailer that spoiled everything, and you have to put it out there. Was Terminator 2. That was by far the worst trailer that's ever happened.
Terminator 2 or Terminator Genesis?
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
Judgment Day?
Yeah,
yes,
because
that was the worst spoiler trailer.
That was the one they talked about, and I never knew this until I read it on Reddit recently.
I was 5 when that movie came out, so I don't know.
You weren't supposed to know that Arnold was a good guy.
Right.
And if you think about it, in the first, 10 minutes of that movie, you don't know that.
Yeah.
But because they released that in the trailer, everyone knew that.
And
luckily, I was like 10 when I saw that movie, so I didn't watch the trailer.
Right.
I was spared that. But yeah, I read the same thing that you did, Ash, and I was like, oh my God, they
and I think
totally spilled the beans.
That's true, yeah.
James Cameron, didn't he? He directed that movie, right?
Yeah.
He did,
yes.
He had no control of what the trailer was,
No.
and so when they spoiled it for the entire U.S., he was pissed.
Yeah,
off.
that's what.
He was
That's
like,
what. And
that
that's
was supposed
exactly.
to be.
That's
when
fair.
you learn that the guy that was the bad guy from the first movie comes back, ends up being the one person that's supposed to save them. So.
All right, we've gone on to trailer talk now.
Hold on. Hold on. 2 seconds for trailer talk, because what Jasmine complained about not knowing a lot about Daybreakers going into it, I'm just going to go on a little rant here. The MPAA that sets all of these restrictions, there's a great documentary about it on Netflix and everything like that. But
this is not rated.
What? This is not rated. Yeah, that essentially it's this group of people that basically get to decide what you're allowed to see and what you're not allowed to see in trailers, what the ratings mean, and when it comes down to it, they don't have any real standard set for what is there. It's just opinion. It comes down to an opinion panel of a couple of dozen people that get to decide what you are allowed to see and what you're not allowed to see. So
it's the morality police, and I mean they determine what you see in the movie too, not just in the trailers.
So don't trust the MPAA ratings, and when you go on, when you want to see a trailer, look for the red band trailer for movies that are rated R, because the red band trailer means that it is a trailer that will include things that the MPAA said were not okay. All right. So that will give you a more accurate representation of things like horror films, things like films that are going to have violence and gore. They will prepare you more for the film that you want to see.
Blue
also,
is very
hello, Blue, I don't trust you. All right.
Okay, that has been
in
the
my water when we
MPAA
recorded
rant.
Viva Pinata.
I could do an entire podcast on the MPAA, but we won't right now.
Rick and I will do a conspiracy cast immediately after finishing this podcast.
Yes. Okay.
I actually listened to that.
We've gone long.
I mean, we already went through 40 minutes of Jar Jar Binks.
We've gone long.
I'm sorry.
I do want to talk about the Kickstarter news that we have,
Yes,
because
do it.
I saw the Jazz, you put it in the chat right before we started. Psychonauts 2.
Psychonauts 2.
It's got the Kickstarter.
Just happened.
I was like, what is this? And then already an anonymous donor we're not gonna. We don't know, but we all kind of know it might be Notch.
It definitely maybe
putting a
might not possibly,
sizable-
but definitely is Marcus Person Notch.
So let's talk. Let's talk about it.
So the only person that has that kind of money to throw around, he's got more money than freaking. Who did he buy that?
Let's just talk about it.
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
The Psychonauts, Kickstarter or whatever. They're not using Kickstarter. They're using something else.
They're using
Indiegogo maybe or Funding.
Fig,
I don't know.
I think.
Fig. Okay.
Anyway,
never heard of it.
It's new. So anyway, they're asking for what, 3.3 million, something like that.
Yeah.
But in reality, they need something like 18 million, which they're getting from outside investors. Or at least that's what we think they need. They had mentioned previously, like in 2012,
somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 million.
They need something like 13 million to be able to do Psychonauts 2. Back in 2012, Notch tweeted at them saying, "Let's do it," and nothing really came of that. And now they have said that they're asking for 3.3 million. They said that obviously we need a lot more than that. Our investors will give us that money once we reach 3.3 million, and we already have an anonymous donor that's giving us quite a bit of money as well.
All right, I'm gonna look right
Anonymous donor who is an industry player,
Right?
Yeah.
AKA it's fucking Notch. It's Notch. Just it's Notch.
I'm just
Is
looking at
it
their page
Notch?
right now. As of
It's
right now,
Notch.
they have raised 363,000.
In like
And to be
2
fair-
hours.
And to be
Just
fair, they
few
announced
hours.
it during the VGAs, and what we know from Kickstarters and other kinds of indie, driven things, you see the most donations during the first 24 hours.
Hey, link
and
me,
then you
link
see
me to
them
that
pick
Fig
up.
page, Jazz.
Yeah.
You see them pick up, in the last week.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like we're going to see a lot of movement in the next week. It'll be really quiet and down until it ends.
To be
uh,
fair, with Fig, I don't believe it ever ends.
They'll probably put in some kind of false urgency.
Right.
They'll
Well,
say, we need
it does
by
say
this point.
34 days left.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
34
Well,
days
there you go.
left.
But I believe it's like Indiegogo, where it just continues to be open after it's done.
Right.
This thing's going to get funded. It'll
Yeah.
get
It's
It'll
going to
get
get funded.
Yeah.
I mean, the last Kickstarter, Broken Age, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
That was funded like with overnight.
It's
Sure.
okay. I'm
That was
super.
like the most successful one.
I'm super excited for Psychonauts 2 because I loved Psychonauts 1, and it's
I did too.
probably the Double Fine game that I've enjoyed the most from them.
Yeah.
Great game. Great game.
I'll admit that I didn't totally love Broken Age, and I didn't totally love
Brutal
what the
Legend.
Jack Black one
Dude,
was.
Brutal
Brutal
Legend, I
Legend.
didn't like
Brutal
that
Legend.
one.
I liked Brutal Legend. I didn't like that they added the tower defense aspect of it. I thought that was a little unnecessary.
It got
was-
It was
repetitive.
fun up until it became
There
RTS.
was we can talk about the production problems that they ran into in that game a lot because there was a lot of executives telling Tim Schafer to do a lot of bullshit in that game.
Right.
But anyway,
But
Psychonauts was like his complete vision, I think, and so
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
And I will say this. Stay tuned to Stumpt Branch because I have a feeling that if this gets funded, that some of us might do a Psychonaut series.
Are you
So,
kidding me?
Stay tuned.
Check
That's a
back in
fact, Jack.
2018 when it actually happens.
I'm
But I
excited
mean, in the
because-
meantime, just check out Stump Branch anyway, guys.
I'm excited because a lot of my favorite artists that work for Double Fine are probably going to get back in this game, like
Yeah.
Scott Campbell. I love his
dude,
artwork. I actually have a lot of his
There's
artwork.
if you can sort of see it
Sure.
above Jasmine's shoulder on that side. There's a blimp that's sort of, and there's one too.
There you
It's
go.
so
Yeah.
cute.
And we the four of us have talked about this well before, but not maybe necessarily on podcasts. But Psychonauts is a fantastic damn game.
It's
It is a
terrific.
great example of
Yeah.
how to make that kind of puzzle platformer game that Super Mario 64 kind of started. That like they pushed it so much further. It's such a great job that if you've never played Psychonauts, if you don't know what Psychonauts is, go check it out. You can probably buy it on Steam for like $3 goddamn.
It's got to be cheap.
It is
It's fun.
so good.
They
So
actually explore they explore a lot of stuff that you can do with, a psychic kid that ran away from the circus.
It goes into people's dreams.
It goes
Yeah.
into people's heads and they actually try to figure out what's wrong with them. I mean, half of the puzzles is like, I can't get past this gate. Why? It's because this goddamn guard won't let me in. Go into his head. What happens? He's this conspiracy nut that thinks the milkman is after him.
It's so great.
Which is
the
my
best
favorite
level in any
level.
video
It's a
game
great
ever.
level. It's
Yeah.
and so think Super Mario 64. You've got the paintings that you jump in, and that's where you go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's all dictated by the painting. It's an image of underwater. We're going to do an underwater level. In here, you're throwing it onto somebody's face. You're going inside their head and saying, what do they think? What is their world? And so you get every single world.
The narrative is
It's
terrific.
just completely different.
There's a
It's
great
beautiful.
narrative to it that Super Mario Brothers never has.
Yeah.
And it's just great storytelling.
So good.
Great
It's
artwork.
So good.
Man, I am really stoked.
So obviously, we all want to play it. So everyone go to that Fig page and pitch in so that we can.
Wait, are you kidding me? We're going to hear complaints about this. Aren't people upset that Tim Schafer keeps using these platforms to make his games? Oh get over it. It's going to be a good game, okay?
Well, this is Price's anger. When me and Rick met Tim Schafer, you're like, I don't like that guy.
That's true. No, that's true. Do you really want to get me going on this?
No, we're not going to.
I don't like that somebody who is a part of a large company, a mid-sized even gaming company, uses these kinds of methods in order to gain funding. These are made for people who can't afford to make games. That's why you need crowdfunding. And I hate that essentially the $3.3 million that's going to go into this game is essentially taking away from a bunch of indie developers who might need $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 here and there to make a game. But whatever. If Psychonauts 2 gets made, I will be happy. So.
They're fun. They're helping fund one of our favorite games.
But
Game-based is part of Double Fine.
Interestingly enough,
I will give them that.
I think that the reason I'm going to let people like Tim Schafer off the hook here is we were just talking about studio interference with trailers.
Yes.
And when studios come in and they're like, yeah, we'll give you the money, but we're also going to have a say in how this is done. Mm-hmm. This is keeping the studio's hand out of the cookie jar. This is to an extent.
$3.3 million is keeping the hand out of the cookie jar. $10 million is coming from a place that we don't necessarily know about. That could be EA. That could be Activision. That could be somebody saying, guess what? You got $3 million from your fans. You get $10 million from us. We make every decision.
Or it could be $10 million from Notch.
Or it could be Notch.
If it's $10 million from Notch,
I mean, given Tim Schafer's hate of EA, and he's talked about how much he hates EA, I'm sure it's not EA.
Yeah.
But that's true. We don't know how much it's coming from. And I agree with Price. I dislike major studios doing this kind of shit. Like, one of the things that really pisses me off right now, I'll admit, is the Indiegogo campaign that's going right now for the game Indivisible, which looks like
it passed.
Cool,
it made it.
Yeah, it passed. It's going to get funded. It looks like a cool game. They had to ask for $1.5 million just so that they could get 505 Studios to give them like the extra $3 million to do it. 505 Studios, also the makers of Payday 2, which makes fucking millions every day, basically. When you have someone like that in your corner, they should just give you the money.
So to just recognize this, people that are listening to this, here's what's happening. Studios are recognizing that now they can get you to pre-order their game before they even start making it. That is what's happening. That is what a studio taking advantage of Kickstarter, Indiegogo, everything else, that is them saying, look, we'll tell you, small developer, small group of people, you're passionate about what you do, you're artists, you want to make a game. If you can get the fans to sign up for $1.5 million worth of sales, then we will give you $3 million to make your game.
Yeah.
That's
same thing,
bullshit.
Sony did that with Shenmue 4 or whatever it was. Yeah. It's total bullshit.
It's absolute horseshit. Yeah. All right? That being said, please support small independent developers on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter, and everywhere else because those people need your money.
Absolutely.
I'm out.
Goodbye, Price. That's the last you'll ever hear of Price.
So one other Kickstarter that I think is very close to Rick's heart that we have to mention.
Oh, yeah.
Got to talk about this one. This is the longest Stumptcast ever.
It is, but good stuff. I hope that it's all been good stuff. You're listening to this
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
MST3K.
I love
and it's been funded.
I actually watched part of the Turkey Day Marathon.
Yeah, and we finally,
I get a message from Ash because one of my online handles is.
I didn't know you didn't know.
Yeah, it's from
Space Mutiny.
Yeah, from the Space Mutiny episode of MST3K. So what
Ash is like, I don't know what that means.
I just figured it was a weird name.
And then, how did you react when you heard someone say out loud?
Ash is like, did he really just say that? And I was like, that's where he got it from.
Honestly, it wasn't that big a reaction. I was like, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited.
They've got 8 days left to go. They're at $3.6 million, which means that we're going to be getting at least 6 new episodes of MST3K. If they can reach 5.5 million, we're getting 12 episodes. So hopefully we can reach the 12 million within the next 8 days, or the 5.5 million.
What I'm excited about is the people that are going to be on it. Felicia Day is going to be the new bad guy, Kinga Forrester.
Jonah Ray is going to be the new Joel.
Ray?
And Patton Oswalt is going to be the son of Frank.
I know. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be. I can't wait. And I had a nightmare last night. That
this is how much he loves Mystery Science Theater.
I had a nightmare that I was watching the new Mystery Science Theater and Crow and Tom Servo weren't the robots, and they had like new robots, and I was like, "This is terrible! This is outrageous!" I was so upset, but no, they're all there. Crow and Tom Servo, they're there.
Crow.
Yeah.
He sounds like the old Crow, but Tom Servo is completely just. I can't, like, I'm having a little bit of a disconnect because it's not the same. But
there was a
hopefully you'll get used to it. Yeah,
there was a falling out between the factions within MST3K.
Those who went on to do riff tracks and those who did not. I'm sure.
Exactly. So some of the voices changed as well,
which is fine. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And going from what we just talked about, where I went on a rant about how not to use Kickstarter and Indiegogo and whatnot, I feel like this MST3K thing is a perfect example of exactly what this is useful for. For people who have kind of like maybe a cult following, you have a small group of passionate individuals who are excited about this product. It's like, Mystery Science Theater, oh my gosh. I was exposed to this. My uncle gave me one of their movies, the MST3K 2000.
The movie,
as a random like birthday gift or whatever. Like I didn't know what it was. I watched it. I freaking loved it. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is something that doesn't appeal to everyone, but for the people who it does appeal to, they're willing to shell out lots of money to make sure that this keeps going. And I feel like that's exactly what things like Indiegogo and Kickstarter are there for. They're there for small people who are still trying to get their footing in whatever art form they have, or for people who are a part of something that's like a small, tight-knit group, but that is really excited to make something move forward. And so I'm super stoked on this. I'm glad that it got funded for, what is it, 6 episodes, 9 episodes?
It's actually, we've unlocked 4 to 6 episodes. 44 million or 4.4 million is going to unlock 7 to 9 episodes. And then at 5.5 million, when it's fully funded, 12 episodes.
So there's a great website that I like to look at for where Kickstarters will likely land, which is called kicktrack.com, which gives you like expected growth.
Expected growth, yeah.
And it looks like they'll probably land somewhere between 4.2 and 5.2 is where they're expecting. So I'm not sure we're going to get 12, but we're probably going to get
7 to 9, yeah.
9?
And that's great. Like, and the thing is like once you get that, right? Once we get a modern MST3K, they got 9 episodes, that could get people on board to make more.
And what our viewers, I know that a lot of you guys are younger, so you might not be familiar with MST3K, but hopefully this will acquaint you to it.
Yeah.
And the thing about MST3K is it's movie length. These things were a 2-hour block of Sci-Fi Channel was devoted to Mystery Science Theater 3000 because they would watch an entire movie and then riff on it. So you got an hour and a half each episode. So 7 to 9 episodes, that's 7 to 9 movies that they're making. You know?
And they're free on YouTube. There's the Mystery Science Theater,
go
channel.
check them out.
Go subscribe to them. They actually have, I think, 6 full-length episode on there right now.
There's some good ones.
You could actually find my favorite, which is the Jack Frost one.
Jack Frost
With the crazy Russian folklore.
I would highly recommend
that was my
the episode Time Chasers. Time Chasers was an independent movie that was terrible. And the great thing about Time Chasers is the makers of Time Chasers, when they saw it on MST3K, they lost their shit. They were like, yes! So they totally supported their terrible movie being torn apart by MST3K.
Did
I also like
the Monos, the Hands of Fate?
Oh, yeah.
Monos, the Hands of Fate.
I mean, let's talk about the movies that they would potentially be doing on this.
God,
we love bad movies so much, and there are so many bad movies. The Room.
They have to do The Room. Well,
I know they've done riff tracks. They
might have to edit out the bad sex scenes.
The movies that they did do, weren't they all like so old that they could do them like
without? There was MST3K bounced between networks, and there was a time when I forget which network they were on, but the network owned the rights to all the like Godzilla movies and all these really shitty old movies. So they were forced to do those movies because the network wouldn't shell out for them to do anything else. So there was like a 2-year block where there were just like really bad movies that they were forced to do.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing about it is that they make fun of them.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, how likely is it that they could actually do good?
I think that's why they're asking for such a high amount of money. Like, right, $5 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are involved with this are not the kinds of actors that expect to be making, I'm going to make a $1.1 million check on this fucking thing. No.
They're buying the rights.
Yeah. A lot of that's going to go to licensing fees. Yeah. So they can license the rights so that they can pick these movies and they can watch them. And that's why the difference between 9 episodes and 12 episodes is $1 million is a lot of that's going to go into licensing fees so that they can watch the movies, pay for those things. And here's the great thing. They're not a part of some big conglomerate network.
Yeah.
They're not a part of some, company that's owned by, whomever, Comcast or whatever, that doesn't want them to make fun of certain products. And so they're not restrained. They can do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we want from Mystery Science Theater. Not to be like, you can make fun of these movies. It's like, no. You make fun of every movie. Yeah. You make fun of whatever movie you want to make fun of.
And everybody who's in this is in it because they honestly love the show. So, I mean, Patton Oswalt, Felicia Day, Jonah Ray, I'm sure they're not asking for a bunch of money to be in this. They're doing this because they love doing it. And anybody who's ever watched the show knows how low budget it is. So their overhead can't be that great. I think that you nailed it, Price.
I think that
a lot of this is going to that.
I cannot wait to hear the whole intro song.
God.
I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
You know what? I might have to play.
I just love the robot.
I might have to play a little bit of the song right now. Just long enough before we get
Gypsy.
Okay,
dude,
so
so long.
we did our
we did everything. Talk. We've talked about the world.
We went around the world in 1 hour
Rick was
and
gone.
25 minutes.
We just missed him.
We did. It's true. Yeah. It's true, buddy.
Just like, I gotta catch up now.
But
I can't wait until Saturday.
I think that's where we're gonna wrap up.
Play some video games. We're gonna watch some stupid movies. It's gonna be great.
Where we're gonna wrap up another episode of Stumptcast. Sorry it went a little long. I hope you guys didn't mind. But if you guys didn't, if you guys enjoyed it, then I hope that you'll give us a like. I hope you'll share and subscribe. Don't forget that today, when you're watching this, we've got a Twitch stream going. So we've got Twitch streams on Sunday. So make sure that you come in and check us out 3:30 to 5:30 Pacific time. Every week, and check out. Well,
according to Ash's last vlog,
might change. Yeah,
it might change.
It might change only because of scheduling. So
okay.
No. Probably on this day we might have something going on. So just check.
But we've got a Twitch channel. Is the point. And when we're gonna be twitching, we're gonna tweet about we're twitching, and then you should come watch us twitch.
So follow us on Twitter. That's the most important thing.
You should follow us. Our Twitter handles are right there. And then, of course, @StumpGamers is our Stumped Twitter handle. Check us out on our Stumpt Branch channel, our new solo stuff. We've got something new every day. And until next time, guys, I've been Rick, joined by Jazz, Ash, and Price. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye! Bye, Blue!